You have decided to take action to put yourself into better financial situation by the time you retire doing investment in stock market. But how much money do you want to have when you retire? How much do you think you need by the time you retire? I think this is an uncommon question people ask because either they haven't quite thought about it because it is still decades away, or maybe this is very difficult to answer. Based on the survey results sourced from the bankrate.com, retiree most value proximity to the family and friends, affordable cost of living, access to excellent healthcare and hospital, good weather, and low crime rate. Have you thought about this question when thinking about retirement? What is going on, fellow investor? My name is Andy, and thank you for checking out this channel where I talk about investment, retirement, and touch of finance. My goal with this channel is to provide insight or information to people who are interested to invest in stock market or new investor who is about to start or just started, to help them to be able to be a better investor and hopefully to achieve financial independence freedom by the time they retire, or retire early because they were able to accumulate enough assets to retire for the rest of their life. So make sure to check out different playlists in this channel to see if there are videos that can be helpful to you. Before we begin, I want to mention that by the end of the video, I probably will not have an answer to this video title because claiming that I know how much exactly you will need in your retirement will be like getting a winning lottery number. So what I'm gonna try to achieve in this video is go over what we might need based on what we will be paying when we retire, like bills and fund money, where we live, and how long we will be paying based on how long we live. And also provide what survey think about how much they need in order to retire. I'm gonna focus the retirement amount based on California in United States because California is one of the highest cost of living. If you live outside the California and your number is better than what I mentioned here, then you're more likely in better financial situation than people in California. So to start it off, I looked at some of the websites to see how much we need to live comfortably in California, and they range from low as 1.3 million to 1.7 million. One of the biggest bills that you may have to pay is whether you have to pay for the rent or not. If you own a house and you have already paid off the house, then your monthly bill may be lower than those who may be living in a nursing house residence or even an apartment. But living at home isn't completely free because you have to pay for insurance, property tax, and maintenance. As a homeowner, these are bills that you have to pay. If you own a house with some extra rooms, you can consider renting out the room to family or friends to generate passive income. This may not be such a bad idea considering you'll have company with you, especially if your roommate are your friends. Of course, if you prefer quiet and alone time, you can remain solely by yourself. Next factor to consider is the area you plan to live, whether that is high cost of living or low cost of living. Depending on where you live, your grocery and gas can be cheaper compared to other states and may even pay less tax or no income tax if you're still working. The median home value in Los Angeles is $651,000 compared to San Francisco where that price is $1,300,000. Average market monthly rent is about $1,800 in Los Angeles and a little bit over $3,000 in San Francisco. Utility are averaged to be $100. Based on the living wage calculator website, a 2-adult in California with no child can spend $6,551 in food and $7,664 in transportation, $5,271 in medical, and $17,916 in housing. Now these numbers are very broad and it's to give you an idea. Obviously, if you have a car that is paid off, that transportation fee will be nowhere near $7,000. If you like to make a lot of home cooking, you won't spend as much of $6,500 in food. As for medical, this can be as much lower or higher depending on your health. But we're gonna go ahead and use the website number anyway than me trying to come up with better number. So adding the housing food, medical, and transportation, you're looking at $37,402 a year, which is not bad by California standard, I think. But this isn't including anything else like vacation, fun money, a date night, and just about any other expense. Living wage calculator put two adults at $4,000 and almost $5,000 for other expense. So if we add that to $37,400, that comes out to be $42,300 and so on. Looking at this number, some of the California, like myself, may agree or disagree. Now, I want to sidestep off the topic briefly. I spend nowhere near $42,000 living in California because currently I am very fortunate to be in a good financial situation. I believe my total bill for the year is roughly around $15,000, give or take, maybe add $1,000 or $2 more on top of that or so. I live with my girlfriend along with her family to reduce the rent utility that we pay. We try to buy bulk from Costco so we don't spend too much on food or going out to eat often. My car is paid off and I pay Netflix and Disney Plus to minimize going out too often to spend for entertainment. Most importantly, I never had urge to buy things or medical expense which led me to a debt. I try to minimize my spending in everywhere I can because I am in a fortunate financial situation right now. If you are in a financial situation where your obligation to paying bill is very limited or none, you want to utilize this opportunity to maximum. When I was younger and had a smaller amount of bill to pay, I saved most of my money until I have enough money to pay for a car basically. I saved enough money in emergency fund to last me at least 1 year. And always putting more money on the side for investment and retirement. If you have no bill to pay, you are in truly blessed situation to get extremely good head start compared to everyone else. So if you are in this situation, don't neglect this opportunity. It is gonna be once in a lifetime because in the future, you are not gonna be in the same situation as you are right now, most likely. But most importantly, be smart with your money. Developing a bad habit of spending money will only set you back further from financial independent freedom. If you make more money and you justify spending more money because of that, that will not lead you to a better financial situation. Instead, you will be stuck at where you were before, even when you made more money. Now, going back to the video, according to the Social Security Administration of the United States, average age of death for male is 76 years old and for female it is 81. Unfortunately, this data is based on 2016 and they don't have the current 2019 or 2020 yet. Let's say that you retire at 65, which is common retire age here in the United States, and you live for next 15 years until age of 80. To make this very simple, we're just going to multiply that $42,000 by 15 years, which equal to $635,000 give or take. But this $635,000 is without considering the inflation, which is roughly 2% per year. Not to mention that none of the unexpected fee is also included. This amount is nowhere near 1.3 million to 1.7 million that you need to retire in California, like I mentioned before. So that's a plus. Online brokerage Fidelity has a benchmark with the suggestion of how much you should have as you reach 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 and 67 years old. At 40, you should have 2 times the annual salary. At 50, 4 times the annual salary. 60, 6 times annual salary. At 67, 8 times annual salary. For example, if you make $50,000 a year, then by age of 40, you should have $100,000. At age of 50, $200,000. 60, $300,000. At 67, $400,000. When you have large amount of money in your investment retirement account, the money will make you more money in shorter time. When you have $100,000, it will be a lot easier and faster to reach that next $100,000 compared to $0 to $100,000. So when you look at $100,000 to $200,000 in 10 years from 40 years old to 50 years old goal, that is easily possible. Of course, this is assuming that the stock market continues to grow without crashing everything to the ground. Other thing to consider is that you are very likely gonna get a raise over the years, and so the amount of money you should have is not fixed like the calculation I just did. So that $100,000 at 50 years old may be $110,000 or $125,000. To my surprise, there are retirement calculator on internet where you can put in your financial information and the calculator try its best to determine how much you'll need with how much you'll have based on the number you put in. The retirement calculator I used was from smartasset.com, which I'll put a link in description below if I don't forget, and they ask quite a lot. They'll ask you your location, your annual income, when you plan to collect Social Security, monthly saving, what we think we might spend after we retire, our age, 401k, pension, and any other IRA account. If you have $500,000 by the time you retire at 65 and you expect to live until 85, that's $25,000 you can spend per year, little over $2,000 a month without calculating inflation. Like I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, I cannot give you exact number because there are way too many variables that play that can change the number significantly. But based on all the number we play around, I hope this had given you some idea how you should calculate how much you need in order to retire. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos, consider sharing it with your friends and family so we can all achieve financial independent freedom. Also, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future video and hit that notification bell on so you know when the video goes on live. As always, super smashing the like button is appreciated and invest wisely.